What is dev mode? Why should we care? Why is it relevant to people who manage the kind of systems that Knapsack supports?
Yeah, so, a lot of ways of answering the question, what is dev mode? Dev mode is, providing more value for what you could say called downstream members of the design, the production workflow from design, right? Design, Figma's powering the design portion, obviously, where we're creating UIs, we're defining kind of the intent of the experiences we're hoping to create. But ultimately, just like the architect doesn't actually create the end house, right? We have to work with our counterparts downstream who are actually going to create this. And so making sure that we can translate that intent and what we did in design and all the time that went into that, the approvals, and all the reviews, ultimately can have a higher likelihood of getting downstream and being implemented properly or to spec, or at least creating a better dialogue, right? In the Figma environment and ecosystem, that's really what dev mode's about, right? And so and there's certainly an aspect there from a business standpoint, right? Broadening the user base of Figma, right? Making it so there's value, pay worthy value for non-designers within Figma. That's certainly a part of it. We think it's great, right? Figma has made strides in helping the design process get closer to code in how they do things like articulate and define components with variations and properties, the idea of variables, and now continuing to bridge that gap and aid the conversation between design and engineering. That's really what dev mode's about.
Great. Yeah, I heard that for every one designer using Figma, there are 3 developers. So that makes perfect sense. And I also heard that the features will actually appear to be more leaning towards kind of this view mode, right? So what do you see when you're a developer? What are you actually creating? How can you side by side that? Much like we discussed with Knapsack's integration, you can actually see these things side by side so that you can decide what's working and what's not working instead of context switching back and forth between tools.
Yeah, I think, just giving, Figma serves a lot of purposes, right? There's stakeholders you're sharing with that have to have this high fidelity, rich, interactive prototype based on, a systematic, really produced design asset with layers and sort of logic to it almost. And then you're also facilitating this handoff and this conversation around, but how are we actually implementing this and creating it, frankly, in an entirely different medium, right, when it comes to code, right? And so being able to bring those collaborators into that environment, Figma's done the prototyping thing and, the views to the non-technical stakeholders, creating more value and aiding that conversation with in the downstream, the technical, collaborators is, it's great to see the added investment there. And I think there's still, other parts that aren't yet solved by dev mode that are really critical to this, which is, how do we continue to build that culture and conversation of reuse and iteration? How do we bring awareness to, when we are creating new work versus, just reproducing work, right? Yep. It's great to be able to have clear communication, but if parts of that work maybe didn't need to happen, right? Or we could have happened in a more efficient way or even a more effective way. There's still area there that in the broad, like how do we as engineers, products managers, designers collaborate to most efficiently build the most effective product experiences? Right. Dev mode goes a long way, right? But there's still a lot that we can do to improve how most teams work.
Brilliant. Cool. Thank you.